and welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and we are stitching Advent day 5. So before I open 5, I thought we'd have a quick look at these. So our first full page was this one. I've added a back to it, and I've put my number 4 on, and I've just done some fern stitch all the way round. Now I've not joined the back page to the wadding and the front page because I need my hinge so that it will concertina, and at the moment I'm not 100% sure whether my hinge needs to be on the right or the left, so that's why it's just pinned to the front. And then because I wanted to do some more, I've done the back of page 8. I've deliberately not done them in order. I've done the back of page 9 and the back of page 12. And as I say, they've all got their hinges on them. So they're my 4 pages to date. And now we are going to open up number 5. Drum roll if you please. Okay. Let's have a look. What have we got today? Today we have got, oh, another background. So we've got a nice cloudy background. Now I'm thinking that, I'm sorry if there's a bit of background noise. I've had to open the window. It's really quite warm in here. Another salvage edge, which is awesome. So where are, oh yes, I've put everything into the plastic bag that all of the Advent bags came in, because it was all getting a little bit cumbersome on my desk. So there's a new wadding, just for size purposes really, and I'm going to, as always. Oh, and the other thing that I did was I took my roller cutter and a straight edge and trimmed them all up because they were a little bit lopsided, weren't they, as you know. So let's turn this all the way around so that we can see where we're at. Let's put a little snip down there. Can remove that, and we can tear that down like that. And of course that's why they were uneven edged, because I had obviously been tearing them. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise in the street now. We've got dogs barking and all sorts going on, and yeah, I don't quite know why, because it's 9:30 in the morning now, so everyone should be at school or at work, wherever they're going. Right, so that looks like a good fit. So I'm just going to give myself that little bit of extra, as always. As I say, we can goodness me, definite divot in these scissors somewhere. I've got to look at that. Right, anyway, I keep saying that, don't I? I will get round to it. Now, as I said to you, I want this to be hearts, birds and flowers. Now, we've already done one heart, haven't we? That was our first full page. And I'm thinking this page, I'd like to be flowers. So I think what I want to do is I want to use some lace bits and make some flowers, and I've got some backing texture there, so we've got lots of lace and bits there. But I'm thinking that I would like some kind of trellis on here, you know. So what I'm going to do is I was using this the other day for something else. So I'm going to use this to differentiate or mark my widths, if you like. So I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw all the way down both sides. Okay, and I'm going to line it up to that side and do another line it up to there again, and just repeat this process all the way across. So I've got my diagonal lines going one way, and then I'm going to do exactly the same and mark my diagonal lines going the other way. And this is 1.5 inches. I measured a piece of, well, it's actually a book cover, a cardboard book cover, you know, a paperback book, and I basically measured a chunk, well I didn't, I cut a chunk off, and then I marked 1.5 inches and then folded it so that it was double before I cut and glued it. Okay, so I've now got my diamonds. I don't know how well you can see them because obviously they're just pencil lines, and because I don't have a Fixen pen, I really should think about getting myself one of them. I need them to be faint. Now I was going to use, I've got this very thin crochet yarn which I bought to try and teach myself, can't find the end now of course, to try and teach myself to do not batting, what's that called? I can't think what it's called, but I'm wondering if that will be too thin to potentially cover that line. Oh, no, I'm going to go for it. That is what I would like to use. I'm checking for my needle that's got the biggest hole in it. Look, I've had a nail injury, I've broke my fingernail, it's all going wrong. But on a plus note, I have done all the washing, tidied the kitchen, and I've even cleaned the cooker. So how about that? I can't say it's not been a good morning, really, can you? Tatting, not batting, tatting. And I do know that Anne Brooke has got a video as part of a, I think it's 52 tags on how to do batting. So I might be having a look at that and trying to have a go, as I've got this very thin thread. Although I'm saying it's very thin, it appears not to want to go through the eye of my needle. Come on, I know it's Monday, but let's not start with a problem. And part of the reason I've rushed around and done the majority of my jobs already is because hubby's gone off out. He's gone to a meeting, so he's going to be out until at least late lunch, and I thought that would give me a chance to do some nice quiet stitching. So there you go. Okay, so obviously starting at the edge, and I am going to just do a running stitch all the way across, so trying to keep the stitches even and obviously stay on my line. Obviously there won't be much point having put it there if we weren't going to stick to it, would there? Let's have a look how this looks. Well, I feel like I've gone off kilter already, which is not good really, is it? So do you know what? Also, I'm not sure that I like it that thick. So, I'm going to undo it. Start again, basically. So, I think I only want it single. So, I'm going to undo it. Sorry if I'm off screen. I did zoom you in the hope that that wouldn't happen. And I know obviously by zooming you in, there's a smaller screen. Right, let's start that again, shall we? See if we can do a better job. So, going in there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's too far over. And I'm sure that if I was working in a circle, you know, an embroidery hoop, this would probably be easier. But I find them really hard. I can't get on with them. So, as always, I like to make my life difficult, don't I? But I think we're gonna get there. I think it's gonna be fine. So I trust everybody is happy, safe and well. I did the live Facebook swap video in my group yesterday. I didn't expect many people to want to join in because it is obviously a very busy time for everyone, but a few people have asked to do it, so that'll be good. First swap of 2023. I've totally lost track of what is going on with the post. I don't know what days are good and bad for posting anymore, but it is, you know, it is what it is. Not a lot we can do about it. Okay, so that I believe is our first complete line. There we go. And it's not too bad, it's fairly straight, and of course it's the longest. Well, there's another one the same size, but it's basically the longest one. So I'm just going to come through the back and I'm going to slide across to there so that I've got a straight line at the back there. Yeah, again, I'm sure that's not what I'm supposed to do, but to each their own. I'm just doing what I do. So then I want to make sure I go under that sort of join. You can hear there's a van reversing outside. One thing I've come to realise since I started living here, because we're, you know, on the road as it were, rather than having a huge front garden, is how badly people park. Right, so we've done that one. Now I am going to fasten that off because it's a big long gap to the next one. So try that, make a little knot. Where's my trusty little scissors? Here they are. So I'll just snip that one. And then I'm going to start again on the next one. So how many have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we should have 5 each way. So we've got 10. I won't bore you by doing 10 because obviously I can sit and do this by myself. And I'm sure you all know how to, you know, basically do a running stitch on a penciled line. It's not hard. Though keeping it straight can be quite tricky, which is why I personally need a line. Don't know about you guys, you might be able to do it without. So I'll just get this one done so that you've got, you know, full idea of what's going on. And then I'm going to start making some flowers to go on my trellis. And then when I've finished with the video, whilst it's uploading, I will, you can see they're all uneven. I'm not very good at doing the same sized stitches, unfortunately, but at least they're in a relatively straight line. When I finish with the video, I will upload the next 4 pages for the paper advent on my Kofi page for anybody that wants it. I know there's a number of you that have taken the first set, so that's fine. So just gonna go through there. Whoops. Yeah, sorry, I was saying about tatting, wasn't I? Because I know what's going on here. Don't create a knot. Not now at the end, eh? That would be really annoying. There we go. Okay. So, let's just finish this off. So yes, I will put that up when I've finished here, so that anyone that wants it can get those next 4. Can't believe we're on day 5 already. Oh dear. Anyway, so there you go. You can start to see what this is going to look like once all the lines are done. Yes? I've got all those lovely diamonds. So let's set that aside over there. Move my needle before it gets lost. Now I want to look at making a flower. So what I'm thinking is, in pretty much the same way as we did the heart, I've got some printed paper flowers here. So I've got this one. I think that's not the mood I'm in today. I've got a nice scribble one, but I think that's going to basically need to be stitched. So I think we're on this one. It looks a little bit like a poppy in shape, but obviously it won't be a poppy really, will it? Because we're not working in red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this fabric folded in half, because I do want 2 of them, at least 2. So I'm going to put that there, I'm going to pin it down, and then we're just going to go round and we are going to cut this out. If you haven't got one like this, you can do one very easily by folding your fabric several times and cutting a tear shape, or just draw one really. It's only sort of, it's a bit like mini hearts, isn't it? So you could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts, pop them together, make yourself a little flower. Right. I'm going to put it quite close to the edge, like so. I'm wondering if these scissors will work. Let's see. So, first thing I'm going to do is, no, those scissors are not going to work. Let's see if these ones will. Oh, that's good. I just want to cut it out because I want to save as much fabric as I can, obviously. Right, so that, save that fabric, get rid of that bit of paper, move them pins. Okay, let's go. Let's cut out these petals and get this flower going. Oh, so I've missed that again. I don't know why that keeps happening for some reason. Seem to get my scissors between the fabric and the paper, and then it obviously only cuts one of them. Somebody did comment on one of the earlier videos, I think it was when I was doing the numbers, saying that, you know, you could use some of that iron on like Bonder web so that it would stiffen up the fabric. That's, yeah, definitely one way to go, and I do have some somewhere. I just, for the life of me, couldn't tell you where, even though I've just had this massive sort out. I do know at least that it is in the fabric pile, because I did find it, but the fabric pile is quite large, so I don't know exactly where in the fabric pile. Okay, let's have a look and see what we've achieved. Pull our pins out and put all them back in the pot so they're not in the way. That's perfect. That's good enough for what we want, because what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to cover these in lace. So put that doily out the way. I don't want that doily at the moment. But what else have I got here? So I don't want the Battenberg. I don't want the doily. I've done that, and I don't feel like they are any of the laces that I really want. I feel like I now need to look again. Oh goodness, you know. Right, I'm just rummaging through my bag here. Right, hang on 1 second. Let me have a look in my lace drawer. Right, I've got this sexy new shirt from the charity shop, and I've got bits of net curtain there. What else have I got in here? And I've got some of this skirt. Right, let's have a look at that then. See how we get on with this. So, just got this fabulous shirt in the charity shop. Right, so what I want to do really is start by covering it. Let's move that one and work on this one. So I want to start by sort of covering it in a large, semi uninteresting piece of lace, because the felt type fabric, which is actually just, it's that curtain lining. Let me turn it over so we can see what we're doing. And again, I'm cutting it very roughly, a bit bigger maybe than the actual flower that I've already got cut, but that doesn't really matter. And then what I'm going to want to do is add layers and layers of lace, maybe even some pearls and things in the middle. There you go, you see, there's one. Just work on one with you, and I'll work on the other one later. So we could have, oh, I've got a catchy nail now, where I've broke that fingernail. So let's trim up here. You can hear that I've got the window open. I don't know, I'm always so warm today. Unless it's just me where I was charging around doing all them jobs. Okay. Right, let's have a look. So then I think, you see, if we go round here and get this like chevron pattern cut out of it, we can use the chevron as part of our petals, if that makes sense. So I'm wondering, because that's nicely rounded, look, you see each one of those chevrons will be like the tip of the petal. So I can put that on there like that. So where's our pins? There's our pins. So pop that one on there. And then that one on there. And that means that as we're putting different layers on, the layers are, or the pieces that we're using for our layers, are getting smaller. Yeah, because now we've got this edge here. So another one there. You know, these are supposed to be scrappy lacy flowers. They're not supposed to be perfect. It's not what I'm aiming for. But then I'm sure if you've been here before, you'd be very surprised if I was aiming for that. And then obviously I can just run an invisible thread around all of this. And for an invisible thread, I would just, what did I do? Two. I would just use, as it were, standard sewing cotton. Right. So that one there. So there's the tips of our 5 petals, like so. Okay. And now, what else have we got? We've got this really wide lace, and it's got this lovely curve. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And it's interesting because one side is a curve and one side is a flower and they alternate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of cut a wavy line so I don't lose any flower. And then I'm going to cut round here like so. And then I think I'm going to add that there. Whoops. That was a needle, not a pin. Pop that one on there. So now you see we're getting a graduation on our leaf. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. That one's already rounded. So I'm going to just line it up. So it does mean that we've got all the roses in the middle. But I am wondering if I might even, if I pin that there, can I bring, no, not really. Okay, so that idea is not going to work, which is absolutely fine. I will cover up, move that pin, don't need that pin, just the one pin is fine. Goodness me, there's a very unhappy dog out there this morning. I don't know if it's because there's too much activity in the street. It's actually not Boo. Boo's gone up to bed, which is what she generally does when hubby goes out. Now obviously, if you wanted to save these flowers, you could cut just that piece off, and I might have to consider doing that if it's going to make it too chunky, but for the moment I'm leaving them on there and just keep putting the same pin out and pushing it back in. And then this is our last one. I believe this was lace that came in Happy Mail from Helen, so thank you, Helen. Your lace is now part of my messy scrappy flower. Okay, so obviously now what I need is something in the middle. I've got some layers out. This doily would be lovely, but it's a bit too big. I've got this fantastic shirt with this broad anglaise on it. It's beautiful. Two different pieces, and it's got this big frill around the neck, but I don't think that's going to work in there, so we're going to be using that for something else. There is a different white lace here. I feel like I need something cream, so here I go again. 1 second. Sorry about the draggy chair. And I'm thinking maybe what we need to do is put an actual like lace flower in there. Or what I've done in pulling that out of the drawer. Oh, what have I just done with that? Oh, I had a mini doily just now. Oh well, that's disappeared, hasn't it? Right, I'm wondering if one of these flowers is what we need. Yeah, that is what we need. So, I'm gonna snip around this, which you've seen me do many times before. I'm slowly using up this dress. Fortunately, there was lots and lots of flowers in it. So, because it's basically just one flower connected to the next. So I've managed to get a lot of use out of this one. Okay, let's move all of that. I'm going to find it. Right, now I know it probably feels like all of these can't now be seen, but I feel like they can, and I feel like it's those layers that really make it work. So I'm going to get a needle and thread, and I'm going to start. There it is. I knew I had a little. Do we prefer that? Is that better? No, I do like the big one. So I'm going to put the big one back on. Yeah, no, I like the big one. However, what I don't like is the fact that I've got some bits of edge left on it. So I'm just going to snip those out. Don't want those. That's got rid of that one. And then we've got another one here. And so that's better. Okay, let's find a needle that we can thread up with just standard white sewing. Whoops. Oh, what's going on with this needle? Alright, so that thread doesn't want to come out for some reason. That's a bit bizarre. Don't remove me, don't remove me. Going a little bit mad here. Right, okay, let's get rid of that. So, nice long bit of white. Trim that up. Thread our needle. Pop that through there. Now this I definitely want double, so let's roll that together. Okay, so I'm going to start in the very middle and get it all joined together. So just literally, I believe they call this stab stitch. I'm not quite sure. It's just the way I would do it. A bit like sewing on a button or whatever, really. But then I'm going to get some pearls or some glass beads, and I'm going to do this centre area. Just want to go all the way around and make sure that we've caught all of that second layer of petals. Okay. Pretty sure they're all caught, so just gonna tie that off. Okay, and then take that centre pin out and give it a shake just to make sure. Yep, they're good. So then I can drop those over and I can work on this one. So just going to do some like invisible stitching on this. So I'm going to go back down in almost exactly the same place that I came up, just to make it like an invisible stitch. Okay. Oh, except I can't pick the needle up. So then you can go along as far as you like, because that's at the back, and then again back down almost where you came up, and just make sure you're not puckering your work. Sorry, it's very quiet, isn't it, when I sew? So not much to tell really. Didn't do very much over the weekend, and of course because now we can't do that, so just throw my needle on the floor. Probably heard it hit the deck, did you? So we'll trim that off, and we'll try and knot in our new bit. Okay, pull that taut, bring that down, pull that pin out, and then back down basically where we came up, move along a bit, and back down. Plus of course I've been here with you every day, so keeping updated every day means obviously you know that I'm not building a story to share with you. That's fine. Right. I'll close this off. Little knot. I'll go back and do the other one in a minute. Get another knot in this one. Pop our pin back in the box. Oops. It's no good if it comes all the way out, is it? And exactly the same thing again on this one. Back down basically where we came up. Move along a little bit. So yes, I'm going to have a look at the Anne Brooke video and see if I can make a little bit of tatting. I have watched it before, but not with the intention of actually making any. So I didn't, as it were, over concentrate. So I'm going to have a good look at that. I think it's one of them things, probably, like anything, that once you get the hang of it, it's probably quite simple to do, but I think it's going to take quite a while to get the hang of it, so we'll see how we go. I think it's a bit like lace making. You see them, don't you, throwing those bobbins, well not throwing, but tossing them backwards and forwards to build the lace stitches. It's fascinating. Never thought about doing that. The idea of having sort of 20 odd or 30 odd bobbins semi-scares me. I just end up with a giant knot, I think. So that's not something that I would be considering doing, if I'm honest. So our last petal coming up now. Don't know if I've got enough thread. I'm going to try and make it work. It might be a bit tight, but we'll see what we can do. So this is our very last one, coming in from the back. And Okay, so we have now got, oh, we've got that long one, haven't we? I'm just going to turn that off. We've now got this multi-layered leaf, not leaf, flower, and I think that will sit there, and then the second one will sit sort of there, like so, something like that anyway, and then you'll just basically see the trellis in the background, and I'll pull that in tight with some beads and the like. So shall we finish that off and put some beads on that and see how we end up, and if that looks how we want it to look? Yeah, so does mean I need to rethread the needle though, do apologise. So let's, whoops, get some more thread, and then we can pull that nice and tight in the centre and give it a bit of dimension with our pearly centre. And then obviously I'll go off and get this finished, and you'll see the end result tomorrow. So, because obviously unless you want to stay here for 3 or 4 hours, I don't think there's any way we can get a page finished. And I do like to stitch in the evening in front of the telly, because, well, I don't really watch the telly, I'm just sitting in front of it. So yeah, it gives me something to do tonight as well, while you're waiting, as it were. Right, so there's our first one. Now I've got this big bag of beads. These pearls are all from broken necklaces, and that's why they're all slightly different sizes and slightly different colours. Okay, so what I tend to do is go through, pull it tight, come back up, and then I'll go through again and back down. Okay, and then we'll come up through the next one. I love, as you know, using glass beads as well for this, but I think they're too small for this particular flower, which is why I've gone for the beads, the pearls. Put it nice and tight, and then re-find your hole and push that back down, and then, whoops, third one. Poking through. Whoops, fell out. And then I'll do one in the centre here. So that's 4. But I will probably end up doing 2 more around the outside, so we'll end up with 6 rather than 5, but I can live with that. I know I do really prefer odd numbers, but if it needs to be 6, it needs to be 6. Also, I've realised that some of them in this bag, because they were like cheap pearl necklaces that haven't even been strung, it's like sort of glued together, so there is no hole in them. So as I find one of them, pick one of them out of the bag, oh look, I'm gonna get away with 7, which is gonna make me happy, because that'll be a nice odd number. So yeah, I'll upload, as I say, the next 4 images for the, it's getting really quite stiff to get that through now, for the paper advert, and then I am off to do more Christmas cooking, check the laundry, and then I must do and upload another panda haul video, because I've finally got the resin, so I can get that project done now as well. Okay, so there's our flower with all our beads. I just feel like it needs a little bit more dimension, so I'm going to put a stitch across the back like that and pull it, and then put another one in like that and pull it, and it will start to, look, can you see it's starting to crumple and give me a little bit more dimension. So when you've got a crumple that you like, just do like a holding stitch to stop it undoing, and then do another one across there, and then do another holding stitch just to put a little bit of movement in the petals. You see, we've just got a little bit of movement going on now. So then I want one across there. And just pull it really tight and do that fixing stitch. And I think that is now where I want it. Yeah, can you see? Look, now it's sculpted up. That's perfect. So I'm just gonna tie this off, and then that flower is finished, and I will say my farewells, and then when I come back tomorrow I'll have all my trellis work done, the other flower made, and potentially have them on as well. See, it's got that bit of dimension now, so that one will sit sort of there somehow like that. As always, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Happy crafting. Back with you very soon. Ta-ta for now.